Wow, that was fast. That was like lightning speed fast and unexpected. Welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I'm the host, John Livingston, aka the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as some other things. In this case, it's a mix of the RV industry and some other things. If you haven't heard, Marcus Lemonis, who was the head honcho of Camping World up until the last day of 2025, is now the CEO of another company, Bed Bath and Beyond. So if you want to read the full article, I'm going to link it in the description box below. I'm going to just read a couple things off of it, and you guys can read the rest as we go along. And of course, the kitty's meowing, so I have to hurry up. Bed Bath & Beyond on Monday named Executive Chairman Marcus Lemonis, who retired at the end of 2025 as the CEO of Camping World Holdings, Inc., as its new chief executive, and multiple outlets, including Fox News, reported. In a letter to shareholders on Monday, Lemonis, who will continue serving as executive chairman, outlined plans to help the company cut costs and pursue expansion opportunities, including acquisition. I have always felt that home ownership is a bedrock of the American dream. Whether someone is renting their first apartment, living in student housing, buying their first home, or settling into a forever home, we want Bed Bath & Beyond to be associated with making those journeys more achievable, more affordable, and less overwhelming, says Lemonis. I wonder who wrote that. Maybe ChatGPT? I mean, good Lord. Look, I've spoken to Marcus before when I worked for Camping World, when I didn't work for Camping World. I know a lot of people don't like him, okay? I'm one of the few guys that actually finds the guy kind of cool and entertaining at the same time. We used to make jokes. When I worked for Camping World, we used to make jokes about this man. We used to say that he changes his mind like you change a newborn baby's diapers. He'll tell you this is the policy one day, and then the policy changes like 2 hours later. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but that's kind of how it felt. I mean, that's I don't even know how else to put it. What this tells me is that Mr. Lemonis sees Camping World's slow decline starting to occur because nothing lasts forever. Okay? And I want to put this in perspective for something, okay? I want to put this in perspective. Sears, if everybody remembers Sears, dominated. Craftsman Tools dominated the American retail market for years. Robinson's May Company, dominated for years. Discount stores like Pick and Save dominated for decades. But they all have something in common. The world changed, and they didn't change with them. And I think Marcus just decided it was his time to exit while you're somewhat on top, even though Camping World has lost hundreds of millions of dollars over the last couple of years. Get out while he still can, and he doesn't have to watch the downfall. Go walk himself into a struggling company, rebuild a reputation for himself as a company guy who can turn a company around, turnaround kings type of thing, and rebuild another company. Expand his legacy, since his legacy is going to hurt if he stuck around with Camping World. That's what I foresee, because there's no way you just jump from Camping World to Bed Bath & Beyond in 7 days. It's unheard of. That's like the best baseball players in Major League Baseball making a decision on a contract in the first 7 hours of free agency. It just doesn't happen. It's a process that gets dragged on. unless they're going to stay with the team they're currently with, which obviously Lemonis wasn't sticking around with Camping World. But they're not the only ones making changes. Okay, if you actually look, Blue Compass, and again, I'll put this in the description box below. Blue Compass changes his leadership like they change diapers too. I mean, it's crazy. They announced more leadership changes as well. I mean, now you got a vice president of sales operation. You now have a vice president of used RV sales. You now have a president of motorhome specialist. You now have a new GM of motorhome specialist. You pretty much, they change out managers. And this is why I didn't go work for a big corporation. It has nothing to do with the money, because the money's good at big corporations. I could have gone and worked for Funtown RV. I could have been in Vegas or been in Arizona and gone and worked for one of those companies. But the way corporations set up their structure, managers only have like a 18-month to 36-month window before they're given the ejector seat. Because the old school mentality of emotion creates emotion, motion creates emotion, motion creates emotion, that whole sales baloney and malarkey is the reason why. So the companies that have done the best in the RV, car, boat industry have had stability at the management position, no matter if it's a good year or a bad year. They've had the guys in place for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. But the way a lot of these corporations work is the minute you're having 3 consecutive bad months, no matter what's going on in the economy is not an excuse. People not walking the door is not an excuse. Money's not being spent on the right marketing is not an excuse. You didn't get the job done, so you're out. Even if the inventory is not correct, even if you scream to the high heaven, hey, inventory's not correct, we're not spending the right amount of money, even if you vocalize it, and you've been vocalizing it, you're out. It just happens too much and too many times in this industry. And it's not just in the RVs, the industry of sales in general. It's like, oh, we'll just put a fresh face in there, it'll hype up the energy and sales will boost. That's not how it works. Yes, it's more energetic, but I've proven over and over again. I'll give you a great example. Okay. Everybody told me that when Barber RV let go of Lonnie Nicholson, okay, and I know they blamed me for that, but we'll get into that another day. They thought that we would get a 30% increase in sales with him gone because they felt he was dragging the morale of the dealership down because of the way he would behave. So after three great years of nothing but growth with the company, they gave him the ejector seat. Did we grow? Yes. Did we grow beyond the pace he already set? No. Because it wasn't the person, it was the process. It was the understanding that you have to have a process in place at the dealership level to make it grow. And it has to be a consistent process that gets uninterrupted because somebody's in a bad mood. An owner's in a bad mood because we haven't sold anything in 7 days. Oh, we're going to change everything. Lower all the pricing, raise all the pricing, move the lot around. And the reason why nobody's coming in is the lot looks the same as it looked last week. Move the shit around. I mean, it just... There's no understanding of what a process is and how to begin and circumvent that process to the point where you have growth. So instead, you fire people and bring new energy in. You love the energy, and 18 months later, you're like, oh, back to nothing's growing, nothing's doing, and it's just the same old crap. It really is. This is why a lot of the sales industry, from AutoNation to Camping World to whatever the bad boat dealer is, it's the reason why they don't grow. It's the reason why they grow through debt instead of through actual sales. Until next time, remember that RV always stands for toolkit and sense of humor.